What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. In today's video, we are looking at Scarlet and Violet. The era in general is kind of on a downward trend. It feels like some people are leaving the Pokemon hobby, or at least I saw a comment earlier today where it was saying like some of the investors that came in to Pokemon during the COVID and Sword and Shield era are leaving the hobby, even though the actual TCG and like the hobby itself might actually be growing. We're seeing these downward trends in a lot of the markets. So we're going to look at that. Scarlet and Violet base set has been out for 6 months and like a few days. So we're also going to look at some of how those cards are doing as well. Before we do that, I have a giveaway to tell you about. I'm giving away 4 packs of Lost Origin to 1 lucky subscriber. So if you want to be entered to win that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell notifications on, hit the like button, leave a comment letting me know why you think all the markets are kind of trending downwards. Let's get to the data. I have a few comparisons to look at, which are kind of interesting in my opinion, and then we'll look at Scarlet and Violet base set. Okay, so here's the comparison. I feel like Scarlet and Violet era is starting a lot the same as what Sword and Shield started at, and I mean, that to me is a good thing because Sword and Shield became totally awesome, especially in the later half. And Scarlet and Violet already isn't that bad, even though there's some who like don't think it's the most amazing thing. I think there's a lot of great things about Scarlet and Violet. So if we look really quickly, here's just a screenshot of Sword and Shield base set from TCG Player and the Scarlet and Violet base set. Any card above $10. Kind of similar range. The Marnie from Sword and Shield base set is on the more pricey end of things because over the last like 8 months, it has gone up quite a bit. Whereas the Miriam, since it's released in Scarlet and Violet, has gone down quite a bit. But looking at this, quite similar. Then we go on to Rebel Clash versus Paldea Evolved. And Paldea Evolved is like the outlier because Paldea Evolved is actually holding up really nicely. Look at all those cards worth more than $10. There's quite a few of them. And I actually couldn't fit them all on the list. I just wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison here. Whereas Rebel Clash, there's quite a few cards in that $10 range. And then you have the Sonya Full Art for $31. And you have the Boss's Orders for $39.34. But on Paldea Evolved, you have the Iono Special Illustration Rare and the Iono Ultra Rare, both doing quite well. You have the Magikarp doing really good, actually increasing in price over time, and a couple other cards that are doing quite well. The Chi and Pao, the Tyranitar, the Raichu, and the Chi-Yu also doing quite well. Then we go into Obsidian Flames, comparing it to the third set of Sword and Shield, which is Darkness Ablaze. Kind of doing the same thing. Darkness Ablaze has the one Charizard VMAX that is doing okay, even though, I mean, it's only a $25 card. Whereas Obsidian Flames, we have all the Charizard cards, all 4 of them, and then one more, the Pidgeot, which is worth $10. But the Charizard EX Special Illustration Rare from Obsidian Flames started out at over $100. Now it's down to $57.64. So on the downward trend. So kind of a similar set. Obsidian Flames, all about the Charizard. Darkness Ablaze, all about the Charizard. And then we come into our first specialty set. Sword and Shield, we had Champion's Path. Scarlet and Violet, we have 151. And this is where it kind of breaks apart. Champion's Path has the 2 big cards, both the Charizard V Shiny and the Rainbow Charizard VMAX doing extremely well, even though the VMAX Rainbow card is actually down quite a bit. We looked at that a few videos ago. Scarlet and Violet 151, on the other hand, doing really, really well. Lots of these cards are actually increasing in price. The Charizard EX holding really firm at 118, so in that like $115 to $120 range. The Blastoise is actually moving its way up. The Venusaur moving its way up a little bit. The Zapdos is kind of in that like mid-tier range. The Erica's Invitation Special Illustration Rare not doing as good as I thought that one would do. The Alakazam kind of holding the ground as like the lower tier Special Illustration Rare. But tons of cards, like this list only goes down to $20. There's lots of cards that are worth $10 and more in Scarlet and Violet 151, which is kind of exciting. So in a roundabout way, here's what I think about this. Scarlet and Violet so far is really following that trend path of Sword and Shield era. We started off with like kind of a weak base set. It's not anything to get too riled up about. Then second set is okay. Actually, Rebel Clash, not a very popular set. Paldea Evolved is actually quite a sleeper set, in my opinion, like we've talked about in past videos. So maybe that's a little bit off the trend line. Then the third set, Obsidian Flames versus Darkness Ablaze. It's just a Charizard set that you have 1 or 2 decent cards value-wise in. and the rest is not that much to get excited about. Then we start off with our first specialty set, Champion's Path in Sword and Shield and 151 in Scarlet and Violet, and those are kind of both banger sets, actually. I think I wasn't around for it, but I think Champion's Path was kind of a cool set with those two Charizards, the shiny one and the Rainbow VMAX. Scarlet and Violet 151 is bringing people back in droves because it's awesome, and I think that 151, all the nostalgia, we've talked about it so many times, I don't need to reiterate. But then now we're into Paradox Rift coming out in less than a month, which if you compare it to Vivid Voltage has the one Rainbow Pikachu VMAX card, which is really popular, and that's kind of it. So we'll have to wait and see if Paradox Rift can break that cycle, or if it's going to be just another like mid-tier set. But then after Vivid Voltage, Sword and Shield era started really getting rolling. Like you had Battle Styles introducing alternate arts, which is actually a super underrated set in my opinion. Then if we get into some bigger sets in Scarlet and Violet era, then we're going to start seeing sets like Battle Styles, Chilling Rain, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars. Like the list just goes on. And Sword and Shield just started getting better and better and better as the era moved on. I think the same thing is going to happen with Scarlet and Violet era as well. And I've already heard big rumors, I'm quite sure they're true, that a shiny set for Scarlet and Violet is coming early in 2024. So more stuff to get excited for. Let's flip back around and look at all the big cards in Scarlet and Violet base set before we rip into some packs. So now we'll talk about Scarlet and Violet base set, which is not doing all that good, even though, I mean, there's something to be said about it. It's a base set. It's maybe not expected to do all that well, but there's really tons of cards that have been trending really, really negative over the last 6 months since its release day. So starting off with Great Tusk EX, the special illustration rare. This one never did that great out of the bat. Started at $9.58 6 months ago. Now it's at $5.44, a 43% drop. Next up, we have the Arvin. This is just the ultra rare version of it. And $6.41 is where it started. Dropped down almost to $3. Now it's come back up, actually, $5.51, where it's currently at. 14% decrease over the 6 months. Next, we have the Riolu, a really cool artwork. And I mean, to be fair, there's tons of great artwork in Scarlet and Violet base set. I like lots of them, but the set just is not doing all that good. This one started at $8.10. Now it's down 31% to $5.58 market priced. Then we have the Penny, and this one is $12.43 6 months ago. Now it's $6.13, so it's basically been cut in half. This is the special illustration rare version of it. Next, we have the Professor's Research, which started at $12.48. Another one that's dropped almost half price to $6.61, a 47% drop. Then we have the Arcanine EX, the Terra card. This is one of the first Terra cards we saw out of Scarlet and Violet. This one, along with the Gyarados. This one started at $15.11. Now it's at $6.81, so it's dropped over half. Crazy. Tons of these cards are just dropping. Slowpoke illustration rare, not doing quite as bad. Started at $9.03. It's down $2 and a 21.5% drop. It's currently market priced at $7.09. Then we have the Miraidon EX, $15.47 is where this one started, the hyper rare gold card. Now it's down 50% to $7.78. We're seeing tons of 50% drops in 6 months of Scarlet and Violet base set. Curlia, the illustration rare, this one was always the lowest priced one out of the Ralts evolution line. So the middle evolution not doing as good as the first or the last. And we've seen that all throughout Scarlet and Violet era so far. The Curlia started at $11.76. Now it's at $8.13, so a 30.9% drop. Next, we have the Arvin. This is the special illustration rare version of it. And a similar graph to what we saw in the regular Arvin. Started off at $8.55, dropped down to $4.50. Now it's back up to $8.29, so only a 3% drop. I'm wondering, if anyone knows, let me know in the comments if this card has become more of a staple in the TCG, hence the comeback in price for both the special illustration rare and the ultra rare versions of Arvin. Next, we have the first evolution line of the trilogy, the Ralts card. It's always done quite well, but it's downward trended for a while now. Started at $15.84. Now it's down to $10.12, which is a 36.1% drop. Getting into some of the bigger cards here, the Koraidon EX Special Illustration Rare. Not doing good at all. Started at $23.80. Now it's down to $10.41. So a 56% drop. Then we have the first Miriam, the ultra rare version of it, again dropping 47.7% from $22.11 to $11.57. So many of these cards are in that 40 to 50% drop range, which is crazy. And we have the Nest Ball, $16.13 is where this one started 6 months ago. Now it's market priced at $12.43. So not a 50% drop, but a 23% drop, which is pretty big. Then finally, the first green that we've seen, this rare candy hyper rare gold card has actually increased in price. Started at $8.85. Now it's up 44% to $12.76, which is a nice victory. All right, we're almost done. Miraidon EX started off high at $40.42. Now it's down over 50% to $18.28. So, like, literally, even the best cards in Scarlet and Violet base set not doing very well. Like, when it first came out, you had both the Terra cards, the Gyarados and the Arcanine, that were kind of cool to look forward to. You had both the Miriam cards. We're still going to talk about the last one. You had the Miraidon, you had the Koraidon, you had the Gardevoir and the Ralts Evolution line. Not so much anymore. There's not a ton of value to be pulled out of Scarlet and Violet base set. That being said, this Gardevoir EX is still one of my favorite cards I've pulled out of the Scarlet and Violet era so far. Started at $36.54. Now it's down to $24.45, which is a 33% drop, leaving us our last card, the Miriam Special Illustration Rare, down 52.4%. Started 6 months ago at $67.77. Now it's at $32.28. All being said, Scarlet and Violet base set basically has, like, on average, probably dropped 30 to 50% on most of the cards, which is absolutely crazy. Still a cool set, and I think that, like I said, if Scarlet and Violet era continues down the trend that it has been going, I think we're in for a real treat moving forward in the next few sets. Let's rip into some Scarlet and Violet base set. Okay, so let me know what you think. Maybe you think I'm totally out to lunch, or maybe you think I'm onto something with the side-by-side comparison of Sword and Shield versus Scarlet and Violet. I'm really hoping so, because literally Sword and Shield is what brought me back into Pokemon. I love the later half of the sets, and I think Scarlet and Violet is well on its way to, like, getting there. If you introduce a couple EV cards in one of the sets, if you do, like, some new stuff. I love the artwork of Scarlet and Violet. I'm getting used to the silver borders. Like, and now that they've brought back 151, we've had chats in the chat on YouTube and in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, go do it now. The link is down below in the description. About, like, doing sets for each generation of Pokemon. Imagine if they did a Generation 2 set. It would be so fun. I'm really hoping that they're thinking the same way we're thinking. Anyways, let's get to some Scarlet and Violet base set. I still have never pulled the Miriam Special Illustration Rare, even though I ended up actually buying one, and it graded as a 10, which is pretty exciting. So that's cool, but there's something to... I love being able to pull the cards myself, so that's kind of the goal here. Other than that, I think I've pulled most of the big cards out of Scarlet and Violet. But the Special Illustration Rare Miriam one is still that one that got away so far. So, and honestly, there's cool cards in this set. I like ripping Pokemon cards, whether it's a good set or like a medium set. I'm not gonna complain if I have the opportunity to rip Pokemon cards again. So that's the way it is. I also have a lot of Scarlet and Violet base set. For some reason, I got a really good deal on a large lot of them that I just couldn't pass down. So nice to not spend huge money. When I open 151 right now on the channel, it is extremely pricey compared to some other sets. But it's also super, super fun just because of the nostalgia. So have you opened any of the Nest Ball? Well, that was on the list. Hello. That came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that. I will take it all day long. I was going to say, have you still been opening any kind of... I don't want to say older Scarlet and Violet base, or older Scarlet and Violet era, but it kind of is. It's 6 months old already. So base set or Paldea Evolved. Are you still opening Obsidian Flames? Yeah. Or are you just, like, fully invested into 151? Are you still just living the Sword and Shield dream and not into into Scarlet and Violet era? I mean, I keep saying it. There's something, Toxicroak EX, nice. There's something to be said, like, there's something for Pokemon no matter what. Like, I don't care if you like just vintage stuff. I don't care if you just like modern stuff. I don't care if you just like Sword and Shield. I don't care if you love Scarlet Violet base set. Like, I enjoy looking at the numbers, but I also just really enjoy ripping Pokemon packs. So whatever you like, if you like collecting singles, if you like collecting sealed product, it doesn't make any difference to me. I'm just glad that you are enjoying the hobby, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do too. I love opening Pokemon cards. I think it's the funnest, and I like collecting sealed stuff. So there's room for everyone, which is totally amazing about it, and I'm all here for it. Man, I do really want to pull that Miriam though. I've said it so many videos, but there's something to be said. I love the feeling of like being able to say that, yes, I pulled that card myself. I didn't buy it, I pulled it. That's what I like. Even more than the collecting, there's like the chase of pulling the big cards that really, really tickles my fancy. So that's why I open packs on every video, because that's kind of what keeps me in the game. Though I do love looking at the numbers too. It's not that I don't like that, but I don't know if I would have continued on with the channel if I was just looking at the numbers. There's something about ripping packs that kind of like, I feel like I'm right in it with you all. So I think that's super fun, and something's working because you keep watching my videos, so I appreciate that very much. I'm having a blast. Also just bought a bunch more stuff, so I got some stock for live streaming. I think I just bought 400 more packs. Some Brilliant Stars, some Lost Origins, some Crown Zenith, some 151. So the Poke Office is getting stocked up to do business. Live streams happen every second Friday. So if you're watching this like close to release day of this video, the next live stream is on October 27th, I believe. And just been having a blast with it, honestly. Pulled a God pack from 151 on there. Pulled 2 Charizards for the same guy. Pulled a lot of really bad Fusion Strike packs. I mean, there's something for everyone and something for everything. And I give a lot away, and it's just a lot of fun. This is the last pack, so here's the special illustration rare slot. One more chance for that Miriam right now. Nada. And last card in 3, 2, 1. Nada. Only 2 hits, but the nest ball is actually a pretty nice one. We got the Toxicroak EX and the gold hyper rare nest ball. So, I mean, hard to complain about that, really, in the grand scheme of things. That's going to do it for me at the Poke Office. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Colin, and make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, hit all the buttons, and leave a comment to enter yourself into the draw for 4 packs of Lost Origin. Until my next video, peace!